I did say we'll be looking at a very sensitive topic which has been on at the front burner, looking at Osun election and the rerun that is expected to take place on Thursday, the 27th day of September. We're discussing this with me. I have Dr. C.E. Ekpo. A pleasure to have you join us.
Thanks so much. It's a pleasure too.
All right. Dr. C. Ekpo is a political analyst and a lecturer at the University of Benin. Well, let's look at the aspect of what has transpired so far in Osun State. In respect of meeting the tenets of democracy, would you say that INEC performance has been awesome, laudable?
Well, I think that's the best place to start, the best point to start, because when people have performed, there's need to appreciate them. Because this time around, I thank God that elections were held and the result announced, even though with some reservation now, but at least results were announced. In this country, we have a situation where elections were held, results were nullified and annulled. We will never have the opportunity of even hearing the result. We thank God for that. And the issue of money changing hands, what happened in the previous elections, have people complaining about people allowing people to vote for their party.
About buying and selling?
Buying and selling. We didn't hear such things this time around. So
that didn't mean that it didn't take place?
No.
Maybe at this time it was discreet.
Okay, discreet or maybe highly minimized. To that extent, it was not very obvious. So we need to also commend the officials of INEC for that work. And they were also violence-free to some extent, to a greater extent, not to some extent. So we also have to commend those who have conducted the election. In fact, there is need to commend all Nigerians, not even only Osun people or the people that conducted the election, because we are moving forward, whether people like it or not, politically and constitutionally. That way I look at it.
Okay, but the aspect where the PDP candidate surpassed that of the APC with a margin of 353, what do you see about that? Because some argument is that that should have been enough to declare him the winner, the PDP's candidate. But yes. What do you think about that?
The only way I can answer that is to give a brief, maybe background of the constitutional provision before we talk about whether they were right or justified or not. If you go to section 1, subsection 1, you talk about the supremacy of the Constitution that shall have the supreme to every other organ or body in Nigeria. Yeah. And subsection, that's same section, subsection 3, talk about any law, any other law, any other regulation that is inconsistent with that provision will be declared null and void. If you go to section 4, subsection 2, it gives the legislative power of the Federation to the National Assembly to make laws for the peace, order, and good governance of the nation. What amount to peace, good order, and whatever is to be determined by National Assembly. If you go to the third schedule of the Constitution, where INEC was established, yes, the last section there talk about, apart from other sections, other powers conferred, it says any other power that may be conferred by the National Assembly. The Electoral Law 2010 is a product of the National Assembly. And if you go to that the Electoral Law 2010, you see that INEC has independence and has a lot of discretions, because authorities, institutions of government, they are usually given discretionary powers.
Okay, but when you say has a lot of discretion, is it to abuse?
No, not to be abused. If I take that one further, you find out that if you go to 53 of Electoral Law, subsection 3, when you talk about overvoting, if you're overvoting, election can be nullified for that. If if the total vote number those that registered, it can be rejected on that ground. But subsection 3 talk about that the officer, the electoral body, can order the cancellation, rerun election. And what more important in all this we are saying, if you go to section 68, subsection 1, you see that the returning officer is very powerful under the electoral law. It said as follows: the decision of the returning officer on any question arising from or relating to unmarked ballot paper, rejected ballot paper, the one we are talking about, the cancellation, whatever, declaration of scores of candidates, and the return of a candidate shall be subject to, or the candidate shall be final, subject to review by a tribunal or court.
Which is really leading this way now.
Yes, well, that will lead to that.
There will be litigation in court.
Because the man who is given that responsibility, who is given that discretion, has exercised such discretion in either whichever way. We cannot take him to court while he exercises that discretion.
Okay, but the constitution seems to be silent on the actual number of win that or figures that could be declared as that could declare candidate winner.
That is it.
Like what we have, some argue that it should be a simple two-third majority.
Yeah.
But is the constitution saying that?
If you go to section 179, go to 2 subsection, that's A or B, A and B, you will see the requirement for a governor to be declared elected. They are stated there. At least 1/4 from the total vote. You have, first of all, majority total vote, followed by 1/4 of total vote from at least 3 to 2/3 of all local government. There's no contention about that one. There's no dispute about that. The issue is this: what amount to simple majority, as we said. The constitutional provision says that whoever had the highest vote should be declared a winner. In this case, we have 353.
Yes.
As the difference.
We're in favor of the PDP candidate.
But don't also forget that constitution is like a building plan. It's a sketch to be built on by other institutions. In this case, we have electoral act that empower INEC to conduct election and regulate how election should be conducted. They have done that. I don't know whether you have what's in 2015 guideline, but what we have under this, that is a 68 subsection C, you see very clear that the electoral returning officer, the returning officer, can decide at his own discretion now what to be released and what not to be released.
Okay.
And if he felt that, oh, this 253 is not enough to just declare what somebody winner, then so be it. But know that that may be the position until it is challenged in court. That's the position for now.
Okay, let's look at the aspect of the strategy used by INEC when it said it wants to ensure that the aspect of vote buying and selling is curtailed by introducing the ban on phone in polling units. Did you really see that play out as what?
Well, based on what I've said before,
yes,
from what we observe,
yes,
I think to a reasonable extent it play out. But I want to also say that whatever measure that can be put in place to checkmate election rigging, we not only go by use of phone, whether by sign, whatever, is commendable. Because this nation will move forward politically. And what has happened, I don't think, I wouldn't want people to see it as a, maybe, see it emotionally. It's a way of deepening democracy, strengthening our constitutional development, and the nation at large.
Okay, as we look at the bigger picture 2019, what do you see as lapses in this electoral process that should be beefed up on for 2019?
We have adequate legislation, we have adequate rules to guide our conduct in terms of election and all that. It's the human factor that's the issue. We never lack legislation, we never lack laws, we never lack regulations. It's the human aspect.
Enforcement.
It's the enforcement and human aspect of it that we must guard against. Otherwise, I don't see the rules are there to be followed. The rules are there to guide man or guide men or people, not the other way around. So if we learn as Nigeria to abide by the rules without cutting corners, then I think we move well for this country, democratically, socially, politically, economically.
Okay.
All that requires is for us as citizens to do what is right and justifiable at all times.
Okay, we see the law enforcement personnel,
yeah,
policemen deployed in Osun State, but being that an election was just being held in one state, in 2019 is going to cut across the states of the federation. don't you see the challenge of manpower, security personnel?
Well, it will also be there. Just that what I said before, with the appropriate authority to carry out intensive enlightenment, to enlighten the people, educate the people on how to go about electoral campaign, how to go about voting and all that. Once we key in, everything will go well. Even if we recruit everybody in Nigeria to go and recruit from Niger or that neighboring country, what will happen if we don't checkmate ourselves, if we are not disciplined as Nigerians. Because the country belongs to all of us.
Okay, what advice do you have for prospective voters? Because there's this impression that, well, the way the business of politics is being done, every politician goes out there for his or her own pocket. So that could also lead to voter apathy. So what advice do you have for voters?
Well, it's, when you talk about voter apathy, there are many reasons that can be adduced for that. Because first of all, government is there to meet the yearnings and aspirations of the people. So if people are elected into elected positions and they don't perform, what they need are going to vote. That will go a long way. If government, because government is based on social contract, everybody cannot be there to go and represent every other person. So persons are nominated, are elected to go and represent the majority. But just that, unfortunately, in Africa, when they get there, they do something else. Okay. They become inaccessible. They can become untouchable. They law it all on the people that elected in the first instance. Until when the election is approaching, you see them coming home. That would be the time they want to buy chairs, they want to donate things to orphanage homes and all that. I think Nigeria should be wise this time around. Because if you allow your conscience to be bought over with money, what will be your reason to blame the government in power? If you collect 2,000 to go and vote for a wrong person, knowing that person to be wrong from the word go, you know his antecedents, then what moral justification will you have to appear on television to say government should come to your aid? They will just be laughing at you. Because they know that they bought, all those people were bought. So they are not under obligation to serve you.
Thank you, Dr. C. Epo.
Thank you, sir.
Well, I call it a wrap on this segment. We've been on the Crux, the Osun election, the Cross of Osun election, and the 2019, looking at ways in which we can have a better democracy at the level of the general elections, which comes up in 2019. Well, Osun election has been like a litmus test, and the rerun, which will be taking place on Thursday, September 27, is also leaving us with a lot of big questions on how it will be done. Who definitely will emerge as the winner this time?